What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this beautiful Monday evening? Well, we're here to talk some Arizona Cardinals. Just because the season is over does not mean we stop putting out content for the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, we got a doozy for you guys. Now, we are going to be opening up the phone lines just in case you guys do want to join and go ahead and give your opinion about, what's going on right now in the crazy world that is Arizona Cardinals related. We will be getting a specific segment later on in the show where we will be opening up the phone line. So if you definitely want to come on, I will explain to you how to do it a little later on, just so you don't forget. But the biggest topic we will also want to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen, is a topic that obviously I did not want to bring up earlier today. I went ahead and released a video, and I appreciate everybody for liking the video and watching the video here. And I I named that video, is all the hate that Kyler Murray right now is getting from the fan base, is it warranted at this very moment? Now, I went ahead and, kind of gave my side of it all. I gave the people that don't like Kyler Murray's side of it all. And, I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird situations right now that we're, as Cardinal fans right now, although we're progressing from a 5-win team to an 8-win team, now to 11-win team, there's still a lot of fans out there, including myself, that still feels a little empty inside. This still feels a little unaccomplished. Now, obviously, most of the people that are in this chat right now, and obviously myself here, we are going to be riding with the Arizona Cardinals, regardless of what happens, regardless if they get rid of Cliff Kingsbury, regardless if they get rid of Keim, or which I doubt Kyler's ever going to go. But, in case any of the situations happen, I'm not going to shy away from it. It's my team. I've been born and raised here in Arizona, so that's not going to change. This is going to be my team till I die, pretty much. But biggest news that came out here, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't heard if you guys haven't read the ticker down here, or if you guys haven't heard the big blow up, the big Twitter world, if you haven't Googled Arizona Cardinals at all today, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. So let me explain to you. Now, obviously, the Pro Bowl happened yesterday. Now, let me just start off by saying the Pro Bowl is absolutely garbage. Like it's a terrible thing to watch. Now, I was actually watching probably the first minute, or maybe first like 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll give it credit. I was watching the first 5 minutes of the Pro Bowl because I wanted to see Kyler Murray play. We're not going to see him play for a very long time, so he's my quarterback. I wanted to go ahead and see what he can do, and pick six happened. Now, granted, I'm not going to really, gloat too much. I'm not going to really say too much about it. The Pro Bowl was just really bad to watch. I didn't have fun watching it. Like I said, I pretty much turned it off. I went about my day. I went ahead and had a family day. I felt like that was a lot more important than watching football players making millions of dollars and not really trying to have a football game. Now, I get the logistics of it. They're not really paid very much or I guess I don't know really what the incentive is for them to play other than having like all these Pro Bowlers together. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. Now, it could be for some people. I just wasn't a big fan. But Kyler Murray did play out of his mind in terms of his stats. I think he had a total of 3 touchdowns and obviously 1 interception being that pick six. And after that happened, the Twitter world were obviously bashing on Kyler, saying the pick six happened, and then the positive fans came out and said, well, look at the touchdowns that he did. Look at the throw that he gave to Mike Evans. It was kind of a back and forth type of thing. But the biggest thing that happened and the biggest takeaway that's happening currently right now is that Kyler Murray, if you don't follow him on Instagram, if you don't follow him on Twitter, recently unfollowed the Arizona Cardinals, scrubbed any pictures in terms of him being in an Arizona Cardinal uniform. All of it is gone. He doesn't have anything on there on his Instagram anymore. He's got 2 photos. One of them when he was in his OU days, and as well as one of them being in his Pro Bowl days, which was yesterday. And of course, this struck up a big uproar in the Cardinals community. Now, I get the whole sense of it all. I know a lot of people are saying, calm down. It was more of a PR stunt. We had some people, say that it was more along the lines because he wanted to focus on the offseason, all these different situations. But we have seen this before. Now, to me, is Kyler Murray going to get traded? Is Kyler Murray going to get released? No, there's no way in heck. I just want to start off this video right now and saying I don't fear personally that Kyler Murray is going to be traded. I don't fear that Kyler Murray is going to be let go. I think it would be absolutely foolish for the Cardinals to do something like that. Now, if their mindset is saying, hey, we do want to move on from him, then obviously a trade is going to have to be in place. But I don't think that it's going to happen. I really don't. Kyler Murray is my quarterback. I want to see what his fourth year is going to come out to be, especially because we're a 5-win team, 8-win team, and 11-win team. But I think one of the biggest things that I want to talk about is that Kyler Murray always progressing in the NFL. That does not mean that he doesn't have any criticism that he needs to take, especially towards the last part of the season. Now, we can talk about, Cliff Kingsbury. We could talk about the offensive line being Swiss cheese. We could talk about the wide receiving core being absolutely garbage without DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray being there. Now, I'm not one of those people that, claim to be, oh, I watch film, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't get paid to watch it. I'm a fan, but I do like to watch highlights, and I do like to kind of see what plays and how they develop when it's available for me to watch it. And it's kind of hard for me to watch sometimes because I know for certain that there is some players that are open in the middle of the field. And that might be one of Kyler Murray's biggest flaws right now. That and I don't know. I feel like he kind of gives up himself too easily. There's some flaws with Kyler Murray. Obviously, I think we're all kind of happy with his progression. I am too. He's my quarterback, but it would be foolish of me to say that he doesn't have flaws in his game. Let's just kind of put that out there right now. Now, Kyler Murray specifically, scrubbed his Instagram. No Arizona Cardinals is no longer on there. No pictures, no anything on there already. I'm not going to really worry too much about it. I don't think it's really too much to really kind of in depth about, but we've seen this before, right, Cardinal fans? And I think this is one of the things that a lot of us kind of have a little PTSD about, because this is not the first time this happened for the Arizona Cardinals. No, it hasn't. This has happened prior to the season starting in Malcolm Butler. And that was really the approach that Malcolm Butler took. Completely scrubbed anything Arizona Cardinals related from his Instagram. And he ended up not showing back up. So, don't blame Cardinal fans for being a little over the top. It's happened before. We've even seen Chandler Jones have a disgruntled moment as well. And now I think Kyler Murray is kind of going into that same trend. Now, whether he wants to focus on the offseason, he deleted this person, deleted that person. He wants to focus on he doesn't want all the outside distractions. That's cool. But I think it's a little bit more than that. I personally think that Kyler Murray is a little bent out of shape because the contract extension, although this is going to be the year right here in his fourth year once he starts, this would be technically the year that the Arizona Cardinals can apply that extension on him and give him the long-term deal that every quarterback, every player that plays in the NFL is playing for. And I do think somewhere deep down, and I'm talking about deep down, that Kyler Murray is a little bent out of shape because the Cardinals said to him, now I don't have any sources, I don't have anything. It's just a little inkling that I have in me that I think that Michael Bidwill talked to him, and I think maybe something might have happened saying, we're maybe not going to give you that extension quite yet. We do have a fifth-year option that we most likely will exercise. And I think that's going to be the route the Arizona Cardinals are going to take. Now, this is going to be one of those games of chicken. Who's going to be able to kind of blink first? Who's going to be able to make the first move, what have you? And I think that's the situation that we're in right now. So we can take the approach of Kyler Murray is just trying to focus on the offseason, which I do believe that there is a little sense of that as well. But I think more than not, it's really, really weird to me that that Kyler Murray, if he didn't do it himself, if he has a specific person running his social media, it's really, really weird to me that he went through all this trouble to delete every single photo that was Cardinals related, but not just Cardinals related. There was other pictures on there as well that was deleted as well. So I'll definitely give kudos to that. But it's just really, really weird to me that the unfollowing happened and then all the pictures were kind of deleted. And we saw something like this before in the beginning of the season with Malcolm Butler. So I think it's a little bit more in depth, personally. I think that the contract extensions might have been talked about with Michael Bidwell, with Steve Keim. And I think they probably gave him an answer that he probably didn't want to hear. And that is, we might actually exercise your 5th-year option. Now, to me, how do I feel about this? If this was the case, now, look, this is all speculations here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have any sources. I don't have anything like that. It's just really weird timing to me that this is the opportunity for him to, you know, do something like this, because contract extensions, contract negotiations is actually supposed to happen, or this is the time of eligibility for him to actually have a contract extension. Get him out of his rookie year. If the Cardinals really feel like he played more, you know, outside his rookie deal, then they have the ability to pay him. But I think somewhere deep down there was talks. I think somewhere deep down there was talks of, hey, maybe we won't give you that extension quite yet. And ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that they are humans too. These players have families. These players have a house to pay. They got bills to pay. Although they're freak athletes, they're in the NFL. Sometimes people hold them up to a pedestal and say, no, they can't do any harm. But ladies and gentlemen, they're humans, just like you, just like me. The only really difference between them and us is their bank account, and they can do some freakish things with their body. That's the reason why they're in this position. But I think money is a big factor here, ladies and gentlemen. I think money is a big factor here. And that kind of leads me to my next question for all of you in here. Put your GM hat on right now. Put your GM hat on. Would you pay Kyler Murray right now? Would you fold in and say, hey, Kyler Murray, you're our guy. You're our future quarterback. We're going to drop this money on you right now because we don't want you to go anywhere. We don't want you to be disgruntled. We want you to put your 110% in this season coming up in the 2021 season, which a lot of people are already saying this is going to be the biggest season to really tell. Kyler Murray's been in the league 3 years. Although he's improved, he's been injured every single year. He's improved, but he's still got some things to work on. I think the moment Kyler Murray shows up really, really well and he's a very good MVP type of quarterback is in the beginning of the season. The first stretch in the beginning of the season, right after the bye week, all wheels fall off. And it's just not Kyler Murray. It's the offensive line. It's the coaching staff. It's everybody. It's the whole Cardinal organization. So, question to you guys. Put your GM hat on right now. You are Steve Keim. Would you pay Kyler Murray right now? Now, me personally, I would obviously talk to my franchise quarterback and I would let him know the situation that we're in right now. Whether we can talk to him and say, hey, show us again. Show us what you can do again, and we can pay you halfway through the next season. Maybe not the beginning, but maybe halfway through. I can definitely see the concern that comes in with the Arizona Cardinals being a little hesitant of, because of his injury history. You can say a lot of people are a little hesitant because Kyler Murray, although he has done really, really good stuff and he's a very freak athlete, has Kyler Murray actually won that big game for us that has really kind of elevated this team? Really ask yourself this, ladies and gentlemen. First year for Kyler Murray, won 5.5 games. Second year for Kyler Murray, 8-8, with an opportunity for the playoffs. Now, granted, he was hurt, but that seems to be a broken record over and over again, right? Granted, he was hurt towards the end of the season. We've heard it before. Third season, 11-6. Although a lot of people would take that in a heartbeat, I think we got to be realistic here. When we went to the playoffs and we got smacked by the Rams, we weren't ready. We weren't ready for that big stage. And I know a lot of people have the excuses as, Well, we didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Look what Joe Burrow has. Joe Burrow has his whole entire, wide receiving core. Look at Matthew Stafford and his weapons. But you're just pretty much proving my point. My point to begin with, I've had this channel for 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, for 3 years. I think we're going to go into four once we're going into the next season. It's going to be my 4 years of having this YouTube channel. Go back and I promise you're gonna hear me talking about our wide receiving core and read the comments and read every single one of them and read that people are calling me crazy because we just got DeAndre Hopkins. Why would we get another wide receiver for situations like this, ladies and gentlemen? We our number one wide receiver was hurt, and we looked like the training wheels fell off. We did not know what our identity was. Connor was the best player we had towards the last part of the season because he had that physicality, because he had that playmaking ability. When the lights were shining the brightest, we couldn't pull the trigger and get things done. And people like to blame, well, the wide receiving core was really bad. But that's what we've been talking about for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. We said that the wide receiving core was a big focal point, and Christian Kirk cannot be that number two. And going into this season, we screamed and hollered and said, we need to get a cornerback. That's what we need to get. We got Xavier Collins. And everybody was pissed off at me saying, Mike, you're such a negative person. Mike, all you talk about is how the Cardinals are doing this and that. Why don't you take the positive approach? Because I saw the future, ladies and gentlemen. I saw the future. And I'm obviously being very dramatic here because I really didn't. But one thing as far as being a GM, you need to be able to prepare for what's going to happen ahead of you. And the GM did not do that for us. So the training wheels fell off. Kyler Murray is now, I would say maybe 60% of our fan base loves Kyler Murray still, and they want to give him that, the payday already. They want to give him the check. They don't want to let him go. And then we have a solid 35 to 40% of people really over Kyler Murray because he cannot win that big game for the Arizona Cardinals. And that to me right there is sucky to see as a fan. It really is. This is one of the first times that we've picked a quarterback in the draft, and he seems to be working out for the Arizona Cardinals. He really does. But has he won that big game yet? Has he won that big game yet? I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. If I were the GM, I probably wouldn't have paid him yet. I could possibly maybe very well have a very good rapport with them and very well good conversation with them, have that buddy communication, say, hey, we're thinking about extending you maybe towards the middle of the 2022 season. That is our plan. And this is the reason why our plan is the way that it is. Because free agency is going to come up. We need this, we need that, we need this, and we need that. And this is our plan and what we're going to do. That's what I would do if I was in the front office. I would bring my quarterback into my front office and say, this is what I would do. If you don't like my plan, well, tough noogies, because we're going to do it anyways. One thing that we need to do, and we've seen it towards the end of the season, we need to build around Kyler. We need to build around Kyler. Kyler can't do it alone. He's a freakish athlete, 100%. He's probably one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in his young career in the Arizona Cardinals uniform, 100%. But he can't do it alone. And we've seen what he looks like with no offensive line. We've seen what he looks like in an offense with no DeAndre Hopkins, with AJ Green. Oh my God, he strikes fear in everybody. Being sarcastic, of course. Christian Kirk's mom even snapped back, saying something along the lines that I think he agreed. She agreed on something. Somebody said along the lines that somebody can't wait for Christian Kirk to prove the NFL that he's a very good slot wide receiver. And his mom said, amen. Whatever. But this is the problem. This is the problem that we're running into. There's no direction. There's absolutely no direction in this locker room right now. One of the things that kills you Worse than you had no talent is bad culture. And the Arizona Cardinals need to fix the culture within their organization. And for some reason, they can't figure it out. I don't understand it. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. A billionaire that owns the Arizona Cardinals and has owned the Cardinals for since he was a pup. His father owned the Cardinals, Bill Bidwell. And they still can't figure out the culture. What brings a great organization to get together is a great winning culture. And what you got to do is you got to win. What you got to do is you got to make players be happy that you're in this organization. And if you're franchise quarterback, if you have a plan, you're sitting them down, say, this is the reason why we want to pay you halfway through the season, because we want to get this player. We want to get that player. We want to save your butt by getting this offensive lineman. This is my plan. And maybe we couldn't be running into the situation that we are in right now. And the situation that we're running in right now is, oh boy, everybody panic. Kyler Murray scrubbed his Instagram. And yeah, I laughed. Yeah, I smirked because when you really think about it, it's silly. It absolutely is very, very silly. But sometimes you'll have players do very silly things to try to get what they want. And Kyler Murray is up for a contract extension. And I do think that somewhere deep down, although yes, he wants to forget all the outside noise, which, hey, I command him. There's so much negativity. There's so much poison. There's so much bad things going on right now with the Arizona Cardinals. And we're kind of in that weird situation right now where just ignore it. It's all you can do. Just got to ignore it. All the fans right now, if you're Arizona Cardinal fans, all 85 of you in here right now, all we can do right now is sit and ignore it. And when you hear the Rams fans come and say, the Rams own you, the Rams do this, the Rams do that, well, yeah, I mean, you might be right. Still going to wear my Cardinal uniform, my Cardinal hat very proudly, because this means more than just Cardinal organization, ladies and gentlemen. This is heritage. This is me being in Arizona. This means a lot more than that. So, to recap here, do I think Kyler Murray is going to go? Do I think he's going to get traded? And it's crazy to me right now because I know there's a lot of people talking about trading him for Aaron Rodgers, for Deshaun Watson. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think is going to come here. I don't. Now, I've been wrong before. I've been wrong about DeAndre Hopkins. Deshaun Watson, I don't know what his eligibility is. I don't know if his career is still intact with the NFL right now. There's a lot of gray area going on right now. We got to take what we have right now and build off of what we have. Whether you like Kyler or not, whether you like Kyler or whether you don't like Kyler, we need to build around him. That's it. Point and blank. We got to build around him. Whether you're planning for another quarterback in 2 to 3 years from now, get the weapons together. Get your big-time stud wide receivers that we should have gotten in that draft. Jefferson, Judy, CD. Get everything situated right now. Because Kyler can't do it alone. And I promise you, if any other quarterback comes in here, they're not going to be able to do it alone either. Big shout out to my guy Carter with the $10 donation. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much. First super chat of the night. Appreciate it. He says, Mike, I really think that the fans are the issue. Not the coaching, not Kyler. The fans need to step up and be loyal and support the team on whatever happens. Not just jumping the gun. Love your videos. Well, appreciate it, man. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. So here's the thing about... I appreciate the comment, man. Thank you so much. I know you're a loyal person. You're always coming here on my live streams. Thank you so very much. Let me give a little kind of context or a little answer to this. I definitely see where you're coming from. Definitely see where you're coming from. In terms of the fans that are saying get rid of Kyler, and the fans that are saying trade Kyler, I'm right there with you. There's no way that's the move that the Arizona Cardinals should take. I agree. But we also got to see on the other side of the coin and how the fans that have been here for so long, since 88, since before they moved to Arizona, and this Arizona Cardinal organization, I'm sorry, this Cardinal organization, not Arizona Cardinal, but this Cardinal organization has yet to deliver us a Super Bowl. So I can see the frustration that a fan can already start giving up on everything. And I kind of see their point. In terms of getting rid of Kyler and stuff, no, that's silly. I'm not even going to humor that. But the idea of not really 100% giving your all, or really thinking that this Cardinal organization can really do much, because they've been one of the oldest organizations that have been in the NFL. And since the Super Bowl era, they have never won a Super Bowl, ever. They've been here in Arizona for 33 years, and we went to the playoffs 6 times. Like, ooh. You know, I kind of see their frustration, but I do see it. It's kind of like I'm split between it. I agree with what you're saying there, man, for sure. Appreciate the super chat. I don't think it's 100% the fans, but I also do think that there is some fans that claim to be Cardinal fans and they love to stir the pot up. So what they do is they put themselves, they put a Kyler Murray avatar, or they have a Cardinal avatar, and they just like to troll. So you'll see fans say things like get rid of Kyler. You'll see fans say this, and that. Now, whether they're actual real fans of the Cardinals or not, that's not really for me to decide. I mean, I can really care less, honestly. All we can really do, ladies and gentlemen, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Big shout out here to the OC with the $5 donation. Appreciate that. Thank you so very much. He says, did you see Kyler Murray leaving 2 images from the Pro Bowl talking with separate Green Bay Packers coaches on his Insta? Possibly an A-Rod trade. No hate on K1. Well, you're probably the 3rd or 4th person that's told me about Kyler Murray having a conversation with Green Bay coaches. I don't know. It's so crazy to me. Like to me, I can't see that happening because we just don't have the money to pay Aaron Rodgers. I would think Aaron Rodgers would hate the idea of coming to Arizona because legit, we only really kind of have DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, if we get Zach Ertz back, that's an awesome weapon. If we get James Conner back, that's an awesome weapon. But the other players that we have, I think AJ Green most likely, hopefully, will retire. Christian Kirk, it seems like he might move on. Now, I know there was a report out there saying that Kyler Murray put his house for sale. I think he actually debunked that and saying, no, I don't have my house for sale. But I don't know. The whole Christian Kirk experiment, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Now, if it's a real cheap deal, and I mean a real cheap deal, like a hometown discount, value meal, dollar menu type of deal, then obviously, yeah, I'll bring him back. But there's going to be a bidding war for Christian Kirk. I almost could promise you that. $1 donation from Deshaun Lacey. Thank you so very much for the $1 donation. I don't have you with a comment, but let me see if I can find your comment here. Okay, I see you down here. A Super Bowl coming. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Like you said, let's build. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we have to do. You know what I mean? But we're not that organization that can turn around in a year. Obviously, right? I mean, we're close to the playoffs in the 2nd year. Don't make it. We'll make it to the playoffs in the 3rd year, get absolutely crushed, and honestly didn't even seem like we should be on the same field as the Los Angeles Rams. So, to me, yeah, a rebuild is definitely obviously the way to go, but it's almost kind of one of those things is, do you have the right people in place? Do you have the right people in place? And me, I would look at our quarterback and say, yeah, I see what we have in Kyler Murray. I see what we have when we can offer him protection, when we can give him the weapons, when people aren't dropping the darn ball, when the ball isn't up and two wide receivers give up on the coverage because one person thinks the other one's going to get it. We know what Kyler Murray can do. That's where we start. Now, Cliff Kingsbury, on the other hand, him, I would give him an ultimatum. Get an offensive coordinator or you're out. Now, that's just me being if I was the owner type of situation. Now, obviously, I don't think he's going to leave. He's most likely going to be the head coach of the Cardinals coming into this year. But that would have been my ultimatum to him. Get an offensive coordinator or you are out. Because we already know in 3 years it's too big for him. It's way too big for him. There's too many things going on in a football game that there's a lot of room for error. And we've seen him make a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. Let me see what my guy Pat Bush says. We're about to go on another decade-long drought because Bidwell is too arrogant in the front office. Boom. Well, honestly, Pat, I don't blame you for feeling that way. Because deep down right now, seeing what happened towards the end of the season, I kind of feel that way too. I'm not going to lie to you. We're in that situation right now, unless you're a very new Cardinal fan, and no disrespect here, ladies and gentlemen, but I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans that have come to the Cardinals because they like Kyler Murray. And there's absolutely no shame in that. But if you haven't been through the thick and thin of the Ryan Lindleys, the John Skelton, the Max Halls, the Kevin Kolb, if you haven't gone through that pain, please really rethink before you kind of jump the gun and saying you're very too jump fast paced, because there's a lot of hurt that happened prior to Kyler Murray. And we just need to get it together. We just need to get it together. So, phone lines are going to be opening up here. Phone lines are going to be opening up here within the next 5 minutes. Just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to come on to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, you do have the opportunity to do so. I will be putting a link on the chat here below. All you need to do is click on that link and come on through. Turn on your camera, and you'll be able to come onto the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. We are going to go ahead and give it a 5-minute warning just to kind of let everybody know. I won't be putting the link up until 5 minutes from now, but just keep in mind it is going to be coming. Now, I know people are talking about maybe Aaron Rodgers. Me, personally, I like who Aaron Rodgers is. I like the name that Aaron Rodgers has. But I'm tired of bringing in older players that gives us 2 or 3 years. I'm tired of it. I'm honestly tired of it. I'm tired of not being able to pick our own players in the draft and trying to pick up the scraps from other teams because we cannot draft to save our lives. I'm tired of it. We need to get better in drafting. And with Keim, we'll see how that goes. I don't want it. I don't, and it's not that I don't want Aaron Rodgers. Hear me well, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I'm tired of getting other people's players that are already maybe past their prime or maybe a year or two away from being past their prime. I'm tired of it. Want to build a winning culture? You draft the right players together. You bring them in the locker room together. Let them build a foundation together. Don't just bring somebody that they think that knows that they don't have to, practice every day because he's already established as much in the NFL. No. Bring in young, hungry players that are going to be growing together. And right now that I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals, I have a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Now it's really going to stem who we're bringing back, right? If we're going to bring back James Conner, I don't have that many questions about the running back core. If we're going to be bringing back Zach Ertz, tight end is checked off for me. Maybe we can bring Max Williams back as well on a cheap deal. It really depends on who we're bringing back in our own free agents to really decide who we're going to be able to pick up out there. But hear me well, we should not be building a team through free agency. And let me say that again for the people in the back. You should not be building a team through free agency. You build a team through the draft because they're cheap, they got talent, they're hungry. Free agency is supposed to be for players, the one or two players that are going to be able to give you that one or two extra sacks, the one or two players that are going to give you the extra 5 or 6 touchdowns in the season. That's what free agency should be. And we just can't get it together because we decided that we're going to be picking the best players on the board or best players available. We decided, I'm sorry, not we, the Cardinal organization front office is deciding to pick the best players available. Isaiah Simmons, Zaven Collins. No bad ill will on any of these two young players. Nothing bad to say about them, but they weren't the right pick for the Arizona Cardinals. They weren't. Unless they blossom into the top 2 duo, because we've been hearing that, right? The draft comes in and everybody starts liking to make speculations. These two are going to be the next dynamic duo. You just watch, Mike. You're going to be eating your words when Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons is on the field. Where was Zaven Collins? And it's not his fault. Let me start by saying that. It's not Zaven Collins' fault that he wasn't on the field. Let me start off by saying that. It's not his fault, but we need to start getting production from our first round picks. If you're telling me right now that we picked best player available and we're picking 15, 16 overall, and that was the best player available, and we couldn't see the field at all, that's concerning. And I wouldn't be tripping. I wouldn't be talking about this if we didn't have Joe Walker out there, Tanner Vallejo. I wouldn't be talking about this. If we were rolling with Jordan Hicks and Isaiah Simmons through the rest of the season and they were doing dynamite, they were stopping the run, they were doing blitzes, they were doing this, they were doing all this different stuff, I wouldn't be talking. But the moment we start bringing Tanner Vallejo in and Joe Walker, stuff is going to hit the fan, of course. So we reached that moment, ladies and gentlemen. The phone lines are going to be opened up. Now, the best way to get on here right now, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to let you guys know is that I'm going to be putting a link. I'm going to be putting a link at the top of the chat, and I will be pinning it at the top. Make sure you have your camera on and come on to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. And the biggest reason why we have the cameras on is because we try to get rid of all the trolls. We don't want them up in here. You know what I mean? We don't want them up in here. I don't mind other people coming on here that are not fans of the Cardinals. That's completely fine, but definitely be respectful. And we want to make sure that we are able to kind of put some names to the faces if they do come out here and try to start some mischief here. So biggest talking point right now is going to be Kyler Murray scrubbing his Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have come to that point here now, ladies and gentlemen. Kyler Murray scrubbing his Instagram. Are we worried about him leaving? Now, like I said earlier, I'm not worried about it, but definitely a culture shock. Definitely a lot of things that we need to definitely unfold here. And the phone lines are going to be opened up. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Just click on the link and come on through to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Let's have a good discussion. Let me go ahead and get my background all situated so we can start getting some guests on right now. I'm reading some comments right now. I'm seeing some people talking about Zaven draft a wide receiver every year. Well, I'm not sure about that, man. But Leonardo says, man, I would love to have Andy as he started, but he's got to get way better. Well, it's not even just Yeah, it's a mess, man. The Cardinals are a mess, bro. Let's just put it at that. All right, let's open up the phone lines. We got two people here waiting. Ready? We got RC3 coming on here, and the topic is right now Kyler Murray scrubbing his Instagram. Are you worried? We got RC3. You're live on the Easy Sports Fan on YouTube, man. What's up? How you feeling?
Oh, it's a first. Hello, I'm number one, like a draft pick.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. I spoke to a couple of guys earlier, had a discussion about this, and was on a podcast. Um, I just think our fans worry too much. It was a lot of guys. I mean, including you. Is this a Super Bowl contending team after a few wins of going undefeated? And I
Right.
said, don't count your chickens yet. Technically, since he's in his last year, let him play for incentives. I think you should let him play for incentives as
Who are
far
they?
as he didn't get his money for the playoff, the $9 million or whatever he's supposed to got for the playoffs. And you put him on a contract like that for his last year just to see how everything pans out. If you want to give him a long-term contract, you got to put in there that you can't go to baseball and take this guaranteed money with you. It has to go into that concept.
Yeah.
Like everybody's asking about Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that that was up there. Let's make it clear. Aaron Rodgers is knocking on 40.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a great postseason record at all. So let's keep that and get that out the way. But
Right.
as far as Kyler Murray goes, I don't think that Kime is the issue. We improved on what we needed to prove on, and he always come with a trick under his bag to save his job. And I think that we won more games over and over and over in time. But to me, Kyler really didn't have weapons. He had patches and pieces. We're worried about Kyler Murray doing all the work. We forgot our number one receiver was hurt just as much as Murray. And we're not looking at the concept of who could have been a number two receiver that could play like a number one and the situations of who we can maneuver with.
Right.
And
But isn't
there's
that
no
Kime's
offensive
job?
line.
Isn't
Mhm.
that Kime's job to put in that position? So explain to me why you don't think Kime is the problem.
I don't think Kine is the problem. It's because everything also falls down on Bidwell. When you say fire our whole front office, Kime could have told him, like, listen, dude, I need you to get an offensive coordinator. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. Let me get somebody else in here to help you out with this. You can run your plays and keep it exciting and run back and forth with them. And you can also work it out with Kyler and make things work for both of y'all. You got a three-headed monster basically holding down that offense. And my thing is, we needed defense. So Kime was more focused on the fact we needed defense. The fans was going crazy. He got panic mode. He got Zach Ertz for you. Y'all all went crazy, had a parade and everything. And then it takes a time it takes some time for a tight end like that to mesh with something else that was going on because Hopkins has always been an elite receiver and they relied on Christian Kirk and AJ Green,
Right.
but Connor was the only aggressor. That's the problem with the Cardinals offense. There's no aggressiveness. Connor is the only aggressive person here.
Right. So I'm hearing what you're saying, but you're almost kind of saying that Kime is the issue. It's
No,
kind of
he's
you're
not.
saying Kime isn't, but you're telling me all
No,
the things that we weren't
but my
ready
thing
for.
is everything has to be responded from Bidwell. The owner might not like it and then say, look, this is not what I want. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And also
He's
in the
got too
same
much
token,
power.
yeah, he has too much power. To
Okay.
me, you got to understand that this is Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler first playoffs. We could be like Buffalo and move backwards. Josh Allen was in the AFC Championship. Now he's in a divisional round. What if they go to the first round and lose? Then what? You get what I'm saying? So if you look at the concept, there's a lot of people that had struggles and woes. And we forgot about COVID. A lot of our players was out because of COVID as well, too. But
Yeah, but I
against the
mean, we
good one.
can't. I feel like Cardinal fans, there's an excuse for every year. We can blame COVID, we can blame injuries, but the point of the matter is, when injuries strike, we should have that next man mentality, right? But that's what happened. But that's why I blame Kime. And you're giving a lot of points, which I love, but it almost seems like you're kind of going to my side where I'm saying Kime is the problem because he gave us this team which was able to compete when healthy, right? When healthy. But the
Mm-hmm.
moment that they crumbled and the injuries started happening, we look like kindergartners out there. We shouldn't have been on the same field as Rams. And I would definitely give you kudos. You definitely said, don't count your chickens up too much. And I was buying into Kool-Aid. You're right. 100%. I'll give you kudos on that. But I do
But
think that that's the job of Kime to be giving the depth, to give the drafts capital up here, and he's not done that so far. Since 2013, gave me one first round pick that has been an absolute superstar. And don't use Kyler Murray because we're not 100% quite sure yet. That's the first round pick
okay,
that he's picked up. That's an absolute superstar for the Arizona Cardinals. Go ahead.
let me give you a fact.
Mhm.
Before Connor starts stepping up his game, being more aggressive, remember, Max Williams was the guy to go to, not Christian Kirk, to make the plays. He was the guy that actually was the guy to go to outside of D. Hopkins. When you
Mhm.
take your tight end and a guy that you actually had on the team for some years that you also have chemistry with, it makes things kind of bad on the situation. And he's a blocking tight end at that too. So now it's like our Chase Edmonds gets hurt,
Right?
and I can't stand Steve Kime.
Yeah, I
But
hate him.
then when you look at it, I had to pull my actual facts to look at it, but like, well, you know what? The guy might not be the problem. Maybe it could be Cliff Kingsbury's coaching because he's too conservative. Like you giving people day off on practices to be relaxed and cool out and everything like that.
Honestly.
These are big games you got to play. We need these games.
Yeah.
Like you sitting there and you don't have an offensive coordinator. You're not going over different plays. You're going over the trusty regular season. We came in with no experience against the Rams. So we just can't say, oh, well, if D Hop got better, we did this. He would have been that. But the thing is that the chemistry comes in with the team, regardless if you have the receivers. I mean, if D Hopkins is there or if he's not there. You're
So,
supposed to know how to be strategic and win them
right.
games.
I agree. I 100% agree. But the Cincinnati Bengals playoff experience. How,
Okay.
how, how do we
I'm
kind of
gonna give you a
translate
fun fact on that one. The
that? Mhm.
Cincinnati Bengals had the same defense for the past 4 years, and not only had the same defense for the past 4 years, their defense wasn't ranked. Their defense was ranked top 15 for the past 4 years. That's a fun fact. Only thing they did was just added Joe Burrow and Chase. They had receivers that were there, but who's going to throw them the ball?
Well, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. The GM got everything ready for when they got their quarterback, and then they said Joe Burrow's our guy. Who are they going to get the next year? They got their guy Chase. I can't think of his
Yeah.
name.
Oh
Chase.
yeah, Jamar Chase. I know you talking
They
about
got his guy, which exactly what we should have done. We should have got
with
CD
CeeDee
for
Lamb.
Kyler because Kyler wanted CD, and we went Isaiah Simmons because we thought we knew best. But
Now this
RC3, I
is
have a
what
lot of people here. I appreciate you as always, man. We can have a conversation back. I love you, man. Thank you so very much, dude. Have a great rest of your day, dude. Hey,
right.
man. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's get my guy Jordan P here. Jordan P, you are live on the Easy Sports Fan on YouTube, man. Go, let's drop some knowledge, man. How you doing? What's up, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, dude. I'm good, man. Talk to me. How you feeling? Kyler Murray scrubbing Cardinal stuff. Do you care? Do you not care?
I mean, if I was to say that it didn't rub me a little the wrong way, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
Because like seeing that, it's like, ooh, what is that about? But at the end of the day, like other players have done it. And it could be, he's deleted pictures of his family. He deleted pictures of his dog. Does that mean he's disbanding them too? You know what I mean?
True.
So it's we don't know we're probably not going to know why he did it. He might just say, oh, for social media cleaning or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's the people have taken this and take it to the extreme and say, oh, well, Kyler isn't our guy. Kyler isn't this. Kyler isn't that. He can't do this. He's not a great quarterback because of certain aspects that have nothing to do with playing. Like, if you want to look at the facts, Kyler was graded as a top 3 passer this year of all quarterbacks. Number 3. He was top 10 in passer rating, top 10 in QBR. Even with the second half slump, he looked bad. He was still top 10 in QBR and passer rating. So, you have to look at the facts and then also take into consideration things that that he needs to work on. You can't just say because he needs to work on these things like intangibles such as leadership, things like that. You can't just say, oh, because he needs to work on this, let's just get rid of him and go hope we get a quarterback. Like, that's not how it works. Like, have you seen our history?
Yeah.
Kurt Warner and who? Like, nobody. Like, so this guy, he's made 2 Pro Bowls. He's been Rookie of the Year. He has so many Hall of Fame stats, like records. I mean, in terms of like being a first in your first 3 years, he has a lot. If you go look deep in, he has a lot. But the things that I feel like, and as a pro Kyler guy myself, everybody knows I'm pro Kyler. But I can see the things that the people from the other side of the coin are saying. Like Charlie Casserly, this is before Kyler got drafted. He's like a scout or whatever. Not a scout. He's like a reporter, like Mel Kiper and these type of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out with a report saying that the interviews the people he spoke to from the interviews with Kyler, they said his study habits were not good, his board work was not good, his leadership skills are not good, and everybody slandered him at that time for saying that stuff, saying, "Oh, how could you say that?" But now, even as a Broncos guy myself, I can say that those things are kind of true. You know what I mean? So, but to a point, like if Kyler went down the sideline and told the old lineman, "All right, guys, come on, we can still win," does that mean they're gonna block better every game? Like, no.
Yeah.
But because they're just bad. Like they're just bad. That's not. But at the same time, it helps and it shows the type of leader and the type of guy you have leading your franchise. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have to take certain things with certain things. So yeah, he's a great quarterback in terms of playing, and he has mistakes. Everybody has mistakes, but he needs to work on these areas. Blah 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 blah. Everybody complains about. So right. I don't see how you can blame him over Cliff Kingsbury or Steve Keim, who have Steve Keim still hasn't got a Kyler an offensive line. He's about to be year 4, and the O-line looks pathetic. Cliff Kingsbury, what has he improved on? We can look at Kyler and see what he's improved on. What has Cliff Kingsbury improved on? You could say the record, but the record has went up. I said this many times. The record has went up because the roster talent has went up every year. So the record better go up. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I 100% agree. I mean, that you got to go up, right? 11 wins. Next step is 12. Next step is 13. I feared the moment that we're going to have our fan base split on Kyler Murray. And it seems like we're here now. And we got to decide, are they going to pay him? Because there's more concerns here. And it's just not his production, is his injury proneness. Not proneness, but he has been injured every single year, which is very concerning. And that affects his play style, towards the stretch. So Jordan P, appreciate you, man. I'm going to keep getting the rest of the people on, man. Thanks so much. And later. It's a lot to unfold here, ladies and gentlemen. It's definitely a lot to unfold here. Let me get my guy Lennon. Lennon Wolf, the AZ Sports fan. What's up, dude, man? How you feeling about this whole Kyler Murray scrubbing his Instagram off everything Cardinals? What's up, dude? How you feeling?
One thing I gotta say, being a season ticket holder, the Suns are the best team in the NBA. Gotta say, facts. And I got my Valley jersey. But Kyler Murray unfollowing on Instagram with the Cardinals. Now, do I think they're going to trade for, like, Deshaun Watson or something? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh. I think what I want – I think Kyler Murray might – if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he could have 2 more years or one more year with the Cardinals. But I'm hoping he gets to win a Super Bowl here. It's because, Super Bowl 57 is coming here to State Farm Stadium, and now we'll see the Bengals and Rams. If I were you, my prediction, who do I want to win? I have to go with the Bengals because the Rams, we don't like the Rams. It's because they are our division rival, and they're an LA team like the Lakers or the Dodgers. I don't want to see those city of champions become the champs. And I
agree, brother. I agree, man. As always, Lennon, have a great rest of your day, okay, dude? Later, man. Peace out. Let's get my guy Lord Toretto on here. Alex, man. Alex, what's up, man? You were live on the AZ Sports Fan. And then after him, we're going to go Jonah, and then we're going to close off the show that way. All right. Alex, what's up, man? How you feeling, dude?
Greetings. Yeah. I just want to take my personal opinion to Kyler Murray. I think people are overreacting. I mean, I'm born in 93. I don't know how old you are, but you're a little bit older too. Yeah. So, before social media, there wasn't this type of hype. And people overreact very fast in these times.
I agree.
But for my personal opinion, maybe we should give Kyler now a contract, because what I saw last season is he didn't use his legs properly. Probably because he doesn't want to get injured the second time, because when he gets injured, his future contracts could get lower because he's injury prone.
True.
So when you give him the stability, maybe then he has the you know what I mean, ability.
No, 100% no. Yep.
Yeah, to grow and to feel safe, because when you have a long-term contract, you can risk a little bit more. But when he comes close to this like contract negotiations, he want to stay on the safe side and doesn't run that much. And like against the Rams in the playoffs, I didn't see him run that often. Yeah, so just for my case. But yeah, and that all plays into my idea of like making the Cardinals to a run team with like Williams and Ertz. You got two great blocking tight ends. You have Connor, who's kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
When you draft another good running back, let's roll.
That's
my opinion.
That's 100%. And I like that you brought up the fact that, we're all humans. You know what I mean? A lot of us are thinking for stability, take you out of being, even your job, just a regular job. We all want stability. We all got family. We got bills to pay. You're 100% right. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Alex, as always, man, all the way from Germany. Have a great rest of your day, dude. Later. All right, let's get my guy Jonah here. Let's end the show with my guy Jonah. Jonah, you are live on the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube, man. What's up, man? How you feeling? Kyler Murray scrubbing his Instagram from everything Cardinals, man. How you feeling?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's up, man?
All right, cool. It's going great. I first saw it on YouTube and I was a little concerned about it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, who wouldn't be? I talked to my dad a little bit about it, and he was like, it might just be like a stunt, like his agent said.
Mm-hmm.
I told him to do something, but like, I don't want to see him go, like, I started becoming a fan with Palmer, like towards the end of Palmer.
Yep.
And so like, not great since like in between those two. The only bad thing about Murray though is he doesn't step up in the pocket and like, you know what I mean? Like, and then the running thing too. It kind of stinks, but and then I was talking, and I was thinking maybe if there was some sort of way to get to trade for CD Lamb. I know it'd be hard and a little out there because he's great, but and try and get rid of somebody who's like one of our billion kind of not great wide receivers, like Isabella or so somebody like that.
The sad part is that AJ Green no longer in a contract. Christian Kirk, free agent. And we just got a lot of kind of nobody. And I'm not trying to be mean, but kind of a lot of nobody. We got Andy Isabella, DeAndre Hopkins number one, and kind of in a weird spot right now.
Yeah. And what sucks is I'm a little bit of a sentimental kind, So like, I don't want to see these guys leave, but like for the greater good kind of thing. So.
I agree, man. Well, I appreciate you, Jonah. Thank you so very much, man. Have a great rest of your day, and have a good night, man. Later. So, yeah, I agree. I do think deep down, just to recap, a publicity stunt. I do. But that still can kind of get a little hairy as well. It can definitely still get a little hairy for contract negotiations, even if he did this because he wants to get his extension. If the Cardinals already told him straight up, we want to give you the 5th-year option, then there's definitely going to be some animosity between the two, between the Cardinal organization and Kyler Murray. This offensive or offseason is going to be absolutely nuts, ladies and gentlemen. So recap this in a bow. Let's go ahead and go to sleep, put a little bow on it. I don't think Kyler's going anywhere. I don't think. But this might be a publicity stunt, but can definitely go sour in a heartbeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I think we capped out at 105. Thank you so very much for talking Cardinals. I love doing this still. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Thank you, Facebook, viewers. Thank you, Twitter viewers. And of course, my loyal YouTubers. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you guys. And as always, have a great rest of your night and go Cardinals.